think I would start.
Mhm.
And
New video.
today, yes, we have actually a new health video that we're going to talk about. Two tips about heart attack, two signs that you should expect when you or somebody is having a heart attack. We actually have a video that is coming out soon, but we just wanted to make sure that we talk about this so that you can potentially save someone's life, if not your own. There are about at least 10 tips, 10 signs of a heart attack. But today we are just going to give you two of them. And I'm going to say one, and Gifty, my co host, is also going to say one. The first sign of a heart attack, which is a very classic sign of a heart attack, is chest pain.
Yeah. So chest pain, right? So chest pain happens to someone having heart attack. You can feel a severe pain right in your heart area, in your middle section, and you can feel tightness of your chest, and also you can feel pressure. So the pressure can be so severe that you will, some people describe it as like an elephant sitting on your chest. So the pressure is so great. So if you have these symptoms, it means that heart attack is about to hit. And sometimes too, the pressure will be so strong that it will radiate through your left arm, and you can feel the pain through your left arm. So when you have these symptoms, the chance of you having heart attack is very high.
My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Not that we are happy about having a heart attack, but I got to give a round of applause, man. So that is the first classic sign of a heart attack. And I would also add one, which is shortness of breath and gasping for air. So if you see somebody or yourself having a heart attack, there is a greater chance that you are going to be short of breath. You are going to be gasping for air. And the reason, quickly, is that because your heart is being damaged, your heart muscles are being compromised, and they cannot actually work as well as they should. Your heart cannot pump blood enough to your lungs to pick up oxygen for oxygen to be distributed to your body. And so, because of that, you become deoxygenated, or what we say, you are lacking oxygen. And when you're lacking oxygen, your body's first attempt to get more oxygen is to make you breathe faster, gasp for air so that you can catch more air, which potentially contains more oxygen. So if somebody is having a heart attack, apart from the classic sign of a chest pain, they may also be gasping for air. And that is your health tip for the week. Be on the lookout. Now, that being said, we also want to let you know that these by themselves does not mean every chest pain is a heart attack, or every gasp for air is a heart attack. But you got to know your body. If you don't have gastroesophageal reflux disease, what we call GERD,
Or acid
or
reflux.
acid reflux, if you don't have that and your chest is hurting and you have other risk for heart condition, heart attack, then of course you got to take that seriously. And of course, if you don't have if you don't have
Asthma.
asthma, and all of a sudden you are gasping for air, especially along with chest pain, then you know you got to call 911 or go to the emergency room ASAP. And if you want to add
That's good.
anything. All right, so that is your health tip for the week. All right, so with that being said, we are going to go on to our topic for today. And our topic for today, as you may have already seen, is change your life in 5 steps. Change your life. That's just a short way, but it's actually longer than that. I'm pretty hopeful that you know what we are talking about. So, how to build a new habit. Last week we talked about building habits, and breaking down bad habits, and we promised you we're going to also talk about building new habits that will potentially change your life. So today we're going to talk about 5 steps as to how to build the best version of you. 5 steps or 5 ways to build the best version of you using the habit loop as the example. So again, we are the Ortains and we welcome you to the show. But before we continue, we also want to ask you, to make sure you like the stream, comment with us. If you don't comment and you watch, we don't know you are watching. But if you comment, we read the comment and we are like, oh, that man watched, that lady watched. And, comments are very welcome. As we said last week, comments are not for sale, right? Comments are cheap, my goodness. Comments are free. And so comment, click the like button if you haven't already liked the show. That's the first time you could do a thumbs up, depending on where you are watching it from. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and other places I can't remember now. Just to make sure you do the like or thumbs up or whatever button that makes us feel like you are liking us. The other thing is you can subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, you can hit follow. If you're watching on Facebook, and follow if you're watching on LinkedIn, and give us some stars. All right, we are trying to be stars, but unless you give us stars, we can't reach there. So come on. Those of you who are watching from, especially on Facebook, make sure that you give us some stars. Stars will do as good. It is a means of appreciating our content and saying that you guys are spending time out doing this, preparing for shows, buying equipment, ensuring that you are here every time to give us some good stuff. Here, this is some stars for you. So hit your Facebook stars button, whether it's 5,000 stars, 200 stars, whatever you can afford, and give us some stars, and we will acknowledge that. All right, so with that out of the way, we will proceed with our show outline for today. And today, I think what we decided to do is we're going to talk about just a quick review of what we did last week, which is how to break those good old bad habits. I don't know how I can call it good old, but how to break those habits, right? That is the first thing that we are going to talk about today. And then after that, we will also do what we are here to do, which is how to build the best version of you by building new habits. If you build new habits, you are going to end up being the best person you are. Put your name there. I'm going to be the best DrOteng that I am. I'm going to be the best version of DrOteng, the best version of Gifty, the best version of Charles, the best version of Mike, the best version of Kojo, the best version of whoever your name is, so that we will roll in this together. So that is what we are going to do. And before we do that, I don't know if we just want to also make sure that we don't make it too formal. So we're just going to chill and relax here. So how was your week today, this week?
This week?
Yes.
As usual, work.
And while we talk about this, we just want you to share. Actually, that's the whole point. Just click your share. Yeah. Go ahead, honey.
Yeah, so as you know, work, and work. Thank God
work.
vacation is coming up. And Sundays, church was great. And so overall, I would say that this week has been wonderful.
It's been a wonderful week. My goodness, that's a grateful woman right there. My goodness, that's a grateful woman. Yes.
What
wonderful week.
Oh, what about your week?
Oh, I thought you knew. But I at least for the guys. Yes, mine week was hectic because it's one of my busiest working weeks, and so stressful, especially yesterday, to the extent that even when sleeping, I was stressed. So, when we talk about what to do with stress, we all feel the stress. It's not like we have made it. We all go through life just like you do. But again, we are here, so we learn together. So yeah, my week was a little stressful, very tiring. But as you said, we got a week of break and vacation, and I'm looking up to it. My goodness. And so we are going to chill and relax and regroup and recuperate before we go back to working again. But yeah, it was a stressful week. And, it's a vacation. So if you're watching and you call, I'm not going to pick up my phone. You know what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, so that was the week for you. And I believe that you who are watching, it would be great if you also tell us what your week was like. How was your week? And I'm pretty sure it's a fun time. Got to be grateful. So, yeah, tell us what your week was like. If you are watching and you want to share with us, we would greatly appreciate that. All right, so with that out of the way, let's move on to our show for today. And so we are starting right off the bat from what we talked about as the habit loop. That wasn't what I thought I was going to start off with, but I guess we will potentially go there. Let me see if I can go back, see what else that I have there. Yeah, I think I may have put it. Yeah, get that. So let me go here and see. Yes, this is what I think we want to do. Yeah, so with that out on the way, this is the first thing we're going to talk about is how to you know break these bad habits. We just say that we are doing a review, right? A quick review about what we did last week. So the first one is we talked about being self-aware as a means of breaking bad habits.
Yeah, so like knowing what the bad habits are. So you have to be aware that there are certain things that is not really working well for you, and those are the habits that you have to be aware of. So knowing it will help you find ways and means to break the habits. So you have to be self-aware that there are certain things in your life that you would like to change.
My goodness. So you have to first know that you have a habit that you don't want. You have to know your bad habits or dangerous habits, those things that pull you back and make you not live the best version of yourself. So know that as a first thing. And then after that, we also talk about surrounding yourself with supportive environment. That's another way of breaking, helping to stop bad and dangerous habits. Surrounding yourself with supportive environment, because if you want to stop some kind of an action or behavior that is very ingrained in your brain, you have to have people who are there to support you, not people who will judge you, not people who say you think you can stop this, you can't stop. No, but people who will support you, say, oh, you can do this, go ahead, I'm going to help you. People who also serve as a check mark on you, that, oh, you said you are stopping, what happened? Oh, can I help you? So those are people that you want to surround yourself with, supportive environment.
Yeah, so we mentioned being part of a church group
That's one.
that can be a place that you can find yourself in, and the people and the word and the inspirational words will help you, change your ways or turn away from your bad habits. And we also mentioned professional help, right? So
did.
if like you need help through addiction, alcoholism and all that, there are groups out there that they provide these helps that you can reach out for, so that they can support you to break those bad habits.
Definitely. And we actually mentioned specifically alcoholism. We say that it's a group that I hear called Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. So there's certain groups that if you're using drugs and you want to quit, there are groups, there are private groups that only you and the people who are in there will know. So those are groups that you can also surround yourself with. Be part of, just to help you cope with with the stress that comes with trying to stop a very ingrained or entrenched habit that is bad on your life, on your health. So that is one thing. The other thing is, I think you mentioned about going to church. We also said that some behaviors, some habits cannot be just stopped. We call stopping something cold turkey, which means that you just drop it without any intervention, without any medication, without any help. There are certain problems that you cannot just stop by yourself. You need spiritual intervention. We said that you may need some prayerful, person to help you, a pastor or a minister of the gospel, to lay hands on you to break certain things that may have been, part of your spirit. It has become part of your spirit, because remember, habits go through the process of brain, brain development, and basically, I think I explained why some habits may have become spiritual, and so if it has a spiritual component, then obviously you need a spiritual intervention also when you're trying to break those habits. And so we say that it's not a bad idea when you cannot, especially you tried stopping one particular habit, you tried several times, and you go back right after. after a week, after a month, sometimes even after a year, you see yourself going back. It means that you need some help, not just from people, but from God. And in that case, going for a prayer service and asking a minister of God, to touch you and to pray and deliver you is one thing that can help you to stop certain habits. So that's another thing we said. And I think we said more, right?
Yeah, positive alternatives. So like whatever you're doing, if you can do it in a different way, you know, that can replace the bad habits. You just replace the bad with good.
With good. So change, see the other alternatives to certain behaviors that are wrong, but for which you are finding difficult time doing. So if you can do something in place of that, then that will be replacing the bad habit with a good one. So that was another one. And then we also talked about another one called mindfulness. And mindfulness, we basically said be deliberate. You can't just let things fall the way they may. If you let things fall the way they may, then they are going to fall in the wrong places. But if you actually become deliberate about certain behaviors, you can change the course of your life by deciding. And I think this is a point that we actually also want to touch on today. By deciding by yourself, by deciding by yourself, by deciding by yourself that you are going to do this or that and not the other, you are being consciously involved, or you're being deliberate about the situation. And so with that deliberation, you are able to do the right things. So being mindful is something that we also talked about. And then lastly,
We talked about certain realistic goals. You want to break a habit, but you don't want to start tackling the big things. You have to do it in such a way that is reasonable, it's realistic, it's possible. The path that you're taking is making you achieve your goal. So you have to be realistic about whatever you are trying to do so that you can be able to break that bad habit.
my goodness. All right. So that seems to be the summary of what we talked about last week. It was an involved show. It was very involving. So after this show, you may want to go back and watch that too. If you watch it, it may make more sense, and then you can understand what we are doing now. So it's a series, and we began with how to break the bad things that make you not the person that you want to be. And now we are talking about how to build and reinforce good things that will make you a better version of yourself, which is what today is about. So, with that out of the way, we'll move on to today's show. But again, make sure you have liked, shared, subscribed, followed, commented, and all those other good stuff, right? Stars, go to our website at DrOteng.com, buy some merchandise, some clothing that we have put there concerning our show and the stuff that we've talked about. And that would be another way of supporting us. All right. So I'm hoping that if you are watching after the replay, you have also shared the stream and liked it to make your friends also see it. All right. So with that out of the way, let's go on. So today we are talking about building a new version of yourself through building new habits. New habits. And the first item that we want to talk about, the first point to use to build a better version, in fact, the best version of
The
yourself,
best vision.
is to set clear intentions. Set clear intentions. Let me just go ahead.
Okay, so set clear intentions. So whatever you want to achieve, whatever habits you want to build, you want to set it clearly. You don't want it to be ambiguous, or you don't want it to be not clear so that you can go back and forth easily. It should be clear that this is what I want to achieve. So let's take weight, for instance. Okay, so I want to lose 10 pounds this year. That is a clear intention, something that is so clear. So you wake up and beginning of the year, I weighed this amount, this number. At end of the year, I want to be weighed 10 pounds less. So that is so clear. So your intentions are so clear so that you will know what you are going in for. so that when your actions are not reflecting your intentions, then it's likely that you're not going to achieve your aim. So you have to set clear intentions.
My goodness, set clear intentions, also known as clear goals, right? You could also replace it with clear goals and objectives. So you want to be the better person, the best version of yourself. Well, you got to actually make it happen by setting clear intentions. What is about you that is bad that you want something different for? What about you that you want to change? You have to be clear enough so that you will follow through and look through for those things to come to pass. For example, she used weight, losing weight. Um, if that is what you feel like doing to make the better version of you, it has to be specific, clear, and simple enough for you to follow all the time, not ambiguous, like she said. You have to be able to look at the goal or the objective and be able to run with it without any ambiguity, without thinking, oh, am I sure I can do this? Yeah. The goals must be clear. Your intentions must be clear, not just for you, but also to the people around you. If the people know that this is what you intend to do, people know you want to stop smoking. If people know that you want to stop, sleeping around, they can hold you accountable. But that's as clear as it is. It is clear. You know what? I'm stopping this particular bad habit, and I want to build a new habit of being, being uniquely, healthy, being, no more underweight, losing some weight, or eating right, whatever it is that you can think about. But you have to be clear with your goals and with the habit that you want to form. Once you know what habit you want to form, then I think 50% of the job is done, because you appreciate what you want, and knowing what you want will lead you to do the right things to go for it. All right. So I think that is that one, unless you want anything else to that. All right. So with that on the way, now the next one then is going to be to start small. To start small. Some people, start and they fail because they start so big. My goodness. you know, because they start so big. Some people overdo things. They start so big. But remember, 1,000-mile journey only begins with a step. If you look at babies or children, infants trying to walk, they don't just start running. They have to crawl, and after them crawling, they begin to stand. And even with the standing, you know how many times they have to fall back, back on their butts. They will stand and they will fall, and then they stand right back. They begin to hold on to chairs and tables to begin to stand. And soon they become masters of standing. And then after the standing has become so easy, then they begin to move the steps one at a time. And sometimes, those of you who have had children, you know what I'm talking about, who have observed kids. Sometimes the steps may be, just one or two, and they sit, but they continuously go on. So start small. And also the Bible says that though your beginning is small, I was talking about Job, yet your latter end shall greatly increase. So God appreciates small beginnings. God appreciates starting small, knowing that the start of everything is not easy. And so starting small is not bad. Some people don't want to start small. They want to start right from big. And you don't know small and you want to get big. When you get big, it will start crumbling. Why? Because you were not used to how the big came about. You just got there. And that's why, maybe I digress. That's why some people who are left with money, huge sums of money, they lose all the money. Some people who win lotteries become the most miserable because they were not trained with having small. They did not work to get it slowly. Boom, they got it big. And because they got it big, it goes big. But if you learn to start small, that is how you persist, and that is how you develop new habits that come to stay. All right, so I think I'll give myself an applause on that. All right, so your turn if you have anything
so
to add.
like the small starts, I think we wrote here example to be what exercise, right? So if you want to incorporate exercise as part of your habits, your good habits you want to build, you have to start small, because you've not exercised the muscle for I don't know how many years, and you want to start lifting 20 pounds.
20 pounds.
It's not possible. You have to start with the 2 pounds, and you start with the 5 pounds. So you start small. so that you are able to achieve your aim. So you have to set it in such a way that it's achievable. That's the reason for starting small, because you're making it so easy to do. You're making it more enjoyable to do. You don't want to start so big that it becomes so like hard to pursue, but you want to start small. So like if you want to exercise, maybe just push-ups, or maybe skipping uh 10 minutes a day. That can be a start. Maybe taking a walk once or twice a week. Slowly, you are building that habit. So if you start small, you'll be surprised that because you are enjoying it, because it's so easy to do, you tend to graduate to the bigger things and the more strong, higher or greater things, because you're starting small. And because it's small, it's manageable, you are able to do, you're doing it and you're loving it, and you're seeing the rewards and the things that comes from doing it small. And you're like, oh, maybe instead of 2 days, I can do 3 days. Then in a month's time, oh, I can do 5 days a week, because I love doing it, because you started small. But if you don't start small and you're doing the difficult part, you're going to be bored, or it's going to be too challenging that you cannot do anything, and you end up not building that habit. So it's very good that you start small, bit by bit, and you get better with time.
My goodness, that was good. It may just start with walking, like these people are walking. That's all you probably may need to do. Just walking 5 minutes during your lunch. You make it a point that every day at work, my 30 minutes lunch is going to be a walking time. Of course, you got to eat too. So maybe you work within that particular time that you have. But you start somewhere, start something small. And the key is continuing it. If you continue with the small things, soon you will graduate into the big ones. But if you don't, then of course it's going to be hard for you to keep to any new things that you want to build. So building exercise routine is a habit that is not easy, because if you run, you're going to feel your muscles aching. The first day is going to ache. If you walk, you may feel the same way. If you lift weight, it's going to feel the same way. But if you start small, at least that pain will not be as much. At least that hurt can be tolerated. And once you graduate from that, the bigger things can be done. No matter your age, you have to do exercise. It's a new thing that you can build, a new thing that can make you be the better version of yourself. But again, look at how slow these people are moving. Very easy, but they are starting small. And that's the whole point of this slide. That start small if you want to be the better version of yourself, the best version of yourself. Don't start with being the best right off the bat. You got to start being a little better than what you are right now, and then graduate to being a little better than what you would be. And slowly you get to the best version of yourself. You can't just wake up one day and everything is done. That is a recipe for quitters. You are going to quit because you cannot handle the pressure that comes with being best just in one day. You have to start small. So that is what we will say on that. I don't know if you have anything else to say on that particular one.
Let's go.
All right. So that is that. So even with that, we said that it makes you achievable, because I think you mentioned that, right? Because they are small goals and small things you began, they are easily manageable. Manage micro habits. All right. So the next one then is the third point, which is the triggers and the action rewards. Triggers, action, and rewards. And I don't know if you want to. All right. So if you remember, we talked about uh, this in breaking, or how habits are formed. We said that habits are formed because of the rewards that the brain gets. If your brain becomes rewarded for doing something, then it is going to make you repeat that action, because your brain knows that there's a reward for doing that. And so, with that being said, that is going to reinforce whatever behavior that you were doing, whether good or bad. And so the point here is, if you are going to do certain things, find a cue. I think we should go to the slide that I was is talking about. You should find a cue, the cue being the trigger. And maybe I can use an example of eating well or being a mindful eater. If you are a mindful eater, basically deliberate eater. Mindful, don't let that word, make you scared. Mindful eating means eating deliberately, being deliberate about what you are eating, being conscious of what you're putting in your mouth, being, looking at things twice rather than just, oh, there's food, oh, I'm hungry, I'm eating. No, but thinking through what enters your mouth, valuing yourself more than the food that you put in your mouth, so that you can check the food against your value. Say that, does this food whet this belly of mine? And that's being mindful. So the cues that may make you eat or overeat or eat the wrong stuff, maybe hunger, right? So that would be the cue or the trigger. And then you finding the food to eat may be the action that you take. But the problem is that when you are taking that action or that behavior, you do not look around. You do not think about it. As long as you're hungry, everything goes. And so being a mindful eater will make sure that you look at the food that is around when you are hungry, when the trigger comes, when you open the refrigerator. I'm hungry, oh, I'm hungry. You open the fridge. There's pizza, there's the fried chicken, there's
Fries.
fries. What other bad food is there? All those big fatty stuff in the fridge. But a mindful
Coke.
there's Coke, there's sodas,
Fanta.
yeah, there's minerals. Just group them together, all sugary drinks, and you just don't pop it up and start drinking. A mindful eater, after the cue of hunger comes, will think about the behavior that results. Okay, I'm hungry, but I don't just have to eat. I have to eat the right things. And so you think through about what you want to eat. And then after that, you see what rewards you get. And that is where it gets tricky, because a mindful eater may not get the instant reward that somebody eating the pizza, drinking soda will get right there. Because if you're drinking soda, remember that you get a sugar rush, right?
Sugar high.
Right there, your mouth tastes sweet. Oh my goodness. And it's cold and it's with a carbonated fizz, I mean, that is instantaneously you feel the reward. But a mindful eater will look beyond that instantaneous gratification of the sugar, and look at the rewards later on and say that, okay, it may feel tasty now, but what is down the line? What is out there for me? Maybe diabetes, maybe heart disease. So I would rather eat something else. I'll probably just eat the salad, right now. And so you may not feel the tasty sweetness in your mouth, but a mindful eater has already thought through and known that, yeah, the gratification is not now, it's for the future. And so once you do that, you anticipate the reward. And yes, as we said, a 1,000-mile journey begins with a step. 1,000 miles later, you will see the rewards of you losing belly fat, being healthy, being lighter, being able to carry yourself along. When you walk, you don't get tired easily, all because you have adapted a new habit, which usually comes when you are, hungry, when the cue of hunger comes in. So the habit that you want to form must follow these patterns. When the trigger comes, what are you doing to get what rewards? And if you repeat that over and over again, because your brain notes the reward, you are going to find it easy to continue. So that is what I would say about that. I don't know what you want to add to it.
Yeah, so with the trigger action reward, it can also be maybe you are anxious, right? So that would be the trigger or the cue. So to build a better habit, you can say that, okay, so I'm going to do things that relaxes me throughout the day. So there are certain things that happen in your life that you are stressed, you are tense, you are anxious. So what are the things that I can do that relaxes me? You know that when you play your favorite song, you feel so relaxed. When you exercise, you relax. When you read your book, or call a friend or go out and eat, it's something that relaxes you. So you're going to build that habit by letting that be part of your daily routine. So in so doing, that trigger of stress will be eliminated, right? Because in case that you are feeling the trigger and you're like, oh, let me take a walk out there, let me go out there and have a fresh air, breathe in, then that is the behavior, then the behavior, then the reward will continue. After that, you come home, the stress is all gone, you are all relaxed. As a Christian, it may be that, oh, let me recite my favorite scripture in the Bible. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
My goodness.
Your works are wonderful. So by reciting those things, it relaxes you. It makes you feel different. And building that habit help you overcome your stress, and you are able to live your life to be your better version.
My goodness.
Right?
Now you are better. You are the better version of yourself.
Yes.
You are no longer the person who is always anxious and crying and freaking out, right? My goodness, I like that. So that is definitely what that particular thing basically means. Habits can be changed, but you have to put in the effort. If you want to be the better or best version of yourself, look at all the triggers. Like I mentioned the trigger of hunger. She mentioned the trigger of anxiety. There could be triggers for sex when you are already married and you can't have sex every day and you begin to sleep around. That is a bad trigger that you got to deal with. So when those triggers come, what are some of the behaviors or actions that you have to take in order to make sure that you are the better or best version of yourself? It could be the trigger or the cue for alcohol. Maybe when you have friends that get together, the reason they go out is to go and drink, but you don't really want to do that. You don't really want to do that. But you already know that when you drink, you get some rewards. And the reward is that you roll with these guys, these boys, and girls, when they go out. You have fun because you are all sticking together. You guys have time to chat and talk about issues. You maybe probably even watch games. And, especially in the US, you could go to a sports bar, watch games together. But you could watch game in your house. But the reward of seeing friends and being together with peers supersedes that that need to stay home and watch it on your own TV. So you go out there to the sports bar and then you watch a game, but you come back drinking, probably be drunk, not what you intended to do. So in such a case, let's use that as an example. How do you use the habit cue behavior thing to change and adapt a new habit?
Yeah. So like if you go and everybody around you is drinking, and you know that if everybody around you drink, it's likely you're going to drink. It's the best way to go about it is to not go. Not go at all, for you to be tempted to drink. Or when you know that you can handle, you still want to talk to your friends. Whatever they are ordering, you can order water, and make it sparkly.
My goodness.
So you can do the carbonated water or the seltzer water, with a little maybe lemon in there. That would taste also good. Then you talk and you drink your water alongside with your friends drinking. But if you are not able to handle people, maybe smokers, when you smell that smell of the cigarette, you can't stop. You just want to ask for more. Either you change your friends or find another way to survive this. So you have to know how you can get away the behavior when the triggers come. So the trigger here may be your friends, being together with your friends. That is a trigger.
Yes.
So what can you do? You have to cut off the trigger, or you go through the trigger, but your behavior is going to be different.
Behavior is going to be different. My goodness. I have a joke that I think was funny. While in college, back in UST sometime before UConn, there was a professor that was asking a guy. He asked one of the classmates that, "Do you drink?" Well, I think the guy said something, and the professor was like, "This guy must be a drunk. Do you drink?" The guy said, "Yes." Everybody was surprised. He said, "Yes, I drink water." My goodness. Yeah. He said, I drink water. Then everybody was coming, oh, okay. And so, yeah, like Gifty is saying, you may not completely be able to shun the company of people you've grown up with, people you've gone to school with, and you guys have fun when you go out. That is the reward. The reward is, hanging out with the boys, hanging out with the girls, hanging out with, with the Joneses, hanging out with whoever your group is, right? But while you are there, you don't have to drink. You can drink water. My goodness. You don't have to drink. You can drink water. If you want to be the better version of yourself or the best version of yourself. And you don't have to just go playing out there that, hey, as for me, I don't drink. You don't need to. I think you were telling me a story about somebody who says that they will go and then they will order everything just like they say it, this thing and this thing on the rocks. Well, they will say everything but minus the alcohol. It could be orange juice, whatever,
On the rocks.
whatever is, and then on the rocks. Sounds like it's an alcohol, but there's no alcohol in there. But you still get the reward of hanging out with the boys. Though it's tempting, and it's very tempting. If you don't take care, you will be tempted, especially when you see those glass bottles like I showed you here. You may be easily tempted to say, at least it's once a week. What is wrong with drinking once a week? But the key is you want to be the best version of yourself. We're not talking about halfway through, because you know the effect of alcohol, on your liver, on your body, on your blood pressure, on your mental health, and all those things we actually said in our last video we posted this week. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and look. And so you said, no, I want to be the better or best version of myself. So I'll go all right, but I'm going to drink water, because water is still a drink, you know what I'm saying? Or, a juice or something that is more healthier than your alcohol. So I don't know if you have anything else to add to that. Okay, so that is the habit, cue, and action rewards that you do. So every time, in order to develop those big new habits to make you the best version of yourself, ask yourself, what is the reward in this for me? And if you can reinforce the reward with a different action, a better action, soon it will become automatic. Remember, that's what we said during habit formation. Because the rewards are there, your brain will let you do it over and over again, because the brain sees that there is a reward. But then the reward must be for an action which you want, a good action. And so that is that for that. All right, so in order to move forward, let's see what the next one said. Yeah, it's actually reinforcing the same point we are saying, that, the brain gets conditioned. The brain easily gets conditioned if you do the same thing over and over again, especially, actually, take it back. The brain gets conditioned when you have rewards for actions. The brain becomes tricked into saying that if I do this, I get this thing sweet in my brain. And so I'm going to continue to do those things so that I will get those rewards. And so if you can repeat an action or behavior, but paying attention to the rewards that you have from that, remember, if you don't have any reward, you are not going to survive. You will stop. That's why some people, I will lose weight. As for me, this year, I'm going to lose 25 pounds. I'm going to lose. And within the first 3 months, they forget, because they forget about the rewards. You have to look up to the rewards, because once you see vividly the rewards, your brain will record it, and the brain will force you to do whatever you did again. And that is how you build a new behavior and become a better version of yourself. So yes, there's the cue, what makes you do what you want to do. And yes, the action that you take, the behavior. But then what is the reward? So all three must come together, and then that conditions your brain so that it becomes effortless. I think you said that in a pre-show discussion. You said that makes you, it takes no effort, because now the brain has accepted that if I exercise 20 minutes a day, I sweat, I have good mental health all day, my day becomes better, and I feel so good. So you tell yourself what you got from that exercise. And because you tell yourself and your brain records that, the next time around when you're going back to exercise, the body may say, oh, you should sleep. Oh, you are tired. But then when you remember the rewards, it will push you to go and do again. But if you don't think about the rewards, they say exercise is good, or it's good for your health, so I'm going to exercise, you are going to quit. But if you know that... right? You're going to quit, because for you, there's nothing good out there. It's just because doctors are saying it. Our show, we are telling you that is why you're doing it. If that's the case, then stop, because it's not going to last. Trust me, mark it on the wall. You got to mark and know the benefits yourself, so that if I exercise, I have better outcomes for my health. long term and short term. My blood pressure, I may still be taking blood pressure medication, all right, but I'm still going to be better than somebody who doesn't exercise. And you know what? All the other benefits of exercise. I'm going to live a healthier life. I'm going to be lighter. I'm going to be able to walk and not be tired. I'm not going to be weak, even though I'm aging. I'm still going to feel strength as a youth. Why? Because of exercise. If you know and perceive all those rewards, then because your brain understands and admits those rewards, it becomes easier when you take the morning walk or run because you know your brain, which is you, knows that there's a reward in there for you. And that is how you keep good habits and become better versions of yourself.
Let's go.
All right. So in that case, we are going to go forward to the next one. This is also still about the brain conditioning. I just didn't want to say it because, for saying sake, there's science-based evidence on this. And if you have time, you can always go back to the show and read all this, the parts of the brain that control habits. And so if you can find habits that reward you, that is going to be the likely way for keeping those. All right, so with that out of the way, now the fourth point is to celebrate the progress that you make with the new habits that you take. So now I'm going to leave you to start off with that.
So, I think we mentioned that during our last discussion. So the little that you are able to do, you have to celebrate that, because celebrating kind of also reinforce the behavior, because everybody around you get excited for you. Your husband make a comment about your weight and you're all excited and you are being celebrated. So this celebration will help you, will serve as for a reinforcement that will make you want to do it again. So celebrating is very important. Don't look down on the small achievements. You have to celebrate it. Celebrating it will give you the power or the strength to keep going. So what are some of the celebration? Maybe you can embark on your favorite treat. Maybe when you achieve this milestone, maybe you have to go and have a massage,
Come on, man.
So that is celebrating your achievement. So because of what you're going to get after you get this point or this far, it will keep you going. So that will help you. Doing it over and over will help you build that habit, and it becomes part of you. That the next time, if you're not even celebrated, you are going to do it anyway, because you, as you mentioned, you know the reward, and it has been part of you. It has been part of your life, and you live by that, and it becomes a good habit, and you become what, the better version of yourself.
My goodness, my goodness. Celebrate the good and the little things. We can't stress this enough, And celebration, like she said, can take all the forms. I was telling her maybe one form of celebration could be shopping, but then she said, "Hey, watch out." Yeah, you can have an agreement with your spouse and say that, you know what, this weight of mine, the doctor said I'm overweight. I'm 10 pounds overweight. I want you to bet with me. I'm going to lose this weight in 6 months. If I lose this weight, what is in there for me? And then you can agree that if you lose these 10 pounds, we are going to take a hike. We're just going to go on vacation somewhere just for 3 days and chill. Maybe we're going to go to Las Vegas just to celebrate that achievement. It may seem like, well, but it's for you. Why do you have to celebrate what you should have? Some people will say, what you should have done anyway. You yourself allowed yourself to be overweight. Why do you have to celebrate? Yeah. But if you don't celebrate, there's no reward, there's nothing to look up to, then it's harder. But if you celebrate, it may be in small things, like she said, your treat, as long as it's not sugary treat, if it's dark chocolate, it's fine. Yeah, as long as it's not sugary treats, but whatever it is. And I like that other treat you said, the massage. My goodness.
Massage.
So if the person achieves a milestone in 3 months, you say that, you know what, I'm going to take you to the massage parlor. I'm just going to make sure that you get a whole day treat of, massage just because of what you did, And you may not have a wife or husband But you can still tell yourself, I'm going to do this for myself if I do this. And it may be as little as losing 2 pounds even. But tell yourself, anytime I lose these 2 pounds, this is what I'm going to do. And you will look up to doing it, not just for the celebration part sake, but you know the benefits too. And if you combine those two, it will push you to do what you think you can do. So celebrate little things. And the sad thing is that in this life, most people will not celebrate you. I'm telling you, no, a lot of people don't celebrate people.
Or maybe after you're dead and gone.
Yeah.
Then
Oh my goodness, that is a good way to say it.
when you're no more,
Yeah.
then people start saying nice
When
things
you are
about
no more,
you.
when you are no more, they will celebrate. They tell you all the things that you cannot
You've
hear.
done.
You cannot hear any one of them. But when you are alive and you're doing good, nobody cares. People will actually judge you and be mean to you when you even try to do good sometimes. But you got to be able to tell yourself, you know what? I did good. I got to celebrate this myself.
Yeah.
If nobody's seeing it, I see it. I did it. Maybe they didn't see it, or maybe they saw it, but they don't care. So if you did something good, or if you do something good today after this show, put pen to paper and write what better version of myself can I become? Am I the person that sleeps too much? Am I a lazy person? I've been abroad for all these years. I have nothing, and it's not just because there's no work. There's jobs here, but I really don't work hard. So you celebrate yourself, right, and say that I'm going to make a change. That may be harsh.
Then after the change is done,
Then after
you
the
can
change
celebrate
is done,
that.
then you celebrate.
Yeah.
You could put any example there. It could be the way you attend to the doctors. Some of you have not seen doctors for years, and because you don't have any infections, you think that you are fine. The only time you go to the doctors is injuries or traumas and infections. If you are hurt, then you will go, or if you broke your arm, you will go, or if you get infection, then you will go. But aside that, you feel like, oh, I'm good, I'm healthy. You are not healthy unless the doctor tells you that they checked everything and you are good. And so you can say that from today, because of my age, I'm going to make sure that I see the doctor every year, whether or not I am sick. Make sure that everything is on par with me. Everything is good. If I'm a woman, my breast has been examined, my cervix have been examined, nothing hiding anywhere. If I'm a man, everything is checked. My prostate has been checked. My eyes have been checked. Everything is checked. Your blood sugar is on point. Everything is checked. You don't wait to get sick to go. And you can just say, I'm going to be the better version of myself just by doing this. Make sure that you are proactive with your care. That is being the better, in fact, the best version of yourself. Because you know who is going to celebrate those things? Your children and your family. When you are there, you are not dead, you are not sick, and you are not being a burden over everybody, they will enjoy it. That is celebrating you. And so it may take different forms. I don't know what version of yourself you want to be. You may want to be the version of yourself that makes more money, the version of yourself that is more loving to your children, more loving to your spouse, the version of yourself that exercises every day, that loses weight, the version of yourself that prays, the version of yourself that finds people around them and becomes connected and not being isolated. Whatever version of yourself you want to be, you have to take that step and make it happen. But you got to celebrate the little achievements towards that journey so that you will be motivated to continue to do it.
Yeah, so with the example here, we said, well, mental health and debt, right? So, like some people, sometimes in order to cover up whatever they are going through emotionally, they tend to find themselves in debt by just spending, buying unnecessary things, things that they don't really need, they spend money on, and they find themselves in debt. So if you are able to figure out that, oh, these emotions make me want to go out there and spend money, and you are able to manage the emotional part, your mental health, managing that will help you not to get yourself into debt. So if you are able to figure out that and it happens, it's time for you to celebrate, not to get back in the debt
My
again.
goodness.
But you just have to celebrate. So being aware of whatever is happening underneath everything and being able to manage it it's worth celebrating. And like we said, nobody will celebrate you.
Nope, nobody will celebrate you.
Nobody will celebrate you, but you have to celebrate the little achievements that you have. Sometimes some people, like their kids, they don't listen, they go out there. And today I was so happy that I was able to get all my kids to church on time.
My
Although
goodness.
late, but and
Well, you said we're a little late, right?
but it's worth celebrating. It's just little, but the fact that it has happened, just celebrate that and build on it. So that like you become better version of yourself. So it's something that you have to work on. We all cannot be perfect, but a little that you can do, celebrate that. That's all that
My
we're
goodness.
saying.
The little things that you do must be celebrated. The little things that you do must be celebrated, because that's the sources of motivation. Because people may not celebrate you. They may, if you are lucky, they may. But some people actually specialize more in telling you that I did nothing when you think you put your best in there, But that being said, if you put your best out there, you are the best person to tell. If you know you didn't do good, you didn't put your all. But if you did your best and people out there are not seeing it, come on, celebrate it yourself, because to you did it, and then continue to do more. So that is that one for you. All right. So with that on the side, I guess we can move on. For the You said a lot about you didn't say much about the depth and mental health, right?
Yeah, I just brought it up.
Yeah. There's a lot of that we can talk about, maybe some other time. But yeah, definitely, we can. Yeah, that's serious. All right, so let's move on because of time. Now, the next thing that we want to talk about, which happens to be the last one, is to develop consistency. Develop consistency. And you mean to start? All right, so behavior can only become a habit when it has been done, according to Gifty, at least 21 times. At least 21 times. And so, if you want to become the better version of yourself, the new things that you want to adapt, you have to manually count to see if you have done them 21 times. Because once you hit the 21st time, then perhaps it would stick. But if you do it 2 days, 1 week, it doesn't mean you are that person. So you can be looking like, you are on the way, which is good. But the key is to be consistent. Do it over. That's why you have to start small, because if you start big and you cannot repeat it, then there's no point. So if you start something small and because it's small, it is manageable, you can repeat it over and over. That is what we're looking at. So whatever it is, whatever version of yourself you want to create, the key is to be consistent, to be able to do it over and over, whether you are asleep or not. You wake up, you know that this is what you are about. Consistency is what develops habits. Without consistency, there's no habit. It's just an action or one-time behavior or two-time behavior. But once consistency sets in, then it becomes part of you. Like our brother asked last time, when does habit become a character? That is when it becomes your character. You are known for that because you have done it over and over again. So that is what we mean by to develop consistency. You want to say anything else?
Yeah, so with consistency, you have to find a strategy or something that you want to do so that it become consistent. So like if example here we've written hydration. If you want to drink water frequently, you don't want to stay too thirsty to a point that you want the carbonated drink or the soda or all that. You want to be hydrated every day. What you can do is to buy a bottle of water, or bottled water, right? So bottled water you carry with you wherever you go. When you are at work, you have your bottled water on the side of you. When you are studying, you have it beside you. When you are going out, you carry it in your bag. You have the bottled water with you all the time. So your chance of staying hydrated is very high because you have your bottled water with you.
That's my bottle.
So you cannot just say that I want to do this and I want to be consistent. What are the things that you can put in place that will make you be consistent? So there should be a strategy. There should be a plan. Okay, I want to eat healthy. So what can I do so that I will consistently eat healthy? You know, your household items have to be changed. You know, you have to get rid of all the sugary foods. I think we say this almost every time.
Yeah, because we are a health channel.
Right?
We have to.
So in order to be consistent, you cannot just go one day shopping healthy stuff. You finish it and you tell yourself, oh, this healthy stuff is too expensive. And if you're not careful, you are going to get into debt. So I'd rather buy the cheap stuff, forgetting that if you find yourself ill or sick for eating unhealthy stuff, it's going to cost you what more.
My goodness.
It will cost you more money.
My goodness.
Yeah. It will cost you not be able to go to work. It will cost you not to be able to keep making the money. I watched this video that a lady was talking about her working, work. She used to have 3 jobs that she was working when she got into this country. And all that she knew was work. No socialization, no healthcare, nothing. And she did it to a point that she's now paralyzed.
My goodness.
Because she did not take care of herself. And it's costing her more. It's costing her more. So you have to be consistent. Let people say that, oh, food is cheap. If you think about it, food is not cheap at all. If you want to buy the good stuff, the healthy stuff, it can cost you. But think about it. You want to be consistent. And you don't want to keep buying the cheap stuff thinking that it's going to make you save money. No. So you have to be consistent. So going grocery, you have to keep buying all the foods out there. And sometimes some people will say that these foods that does not taste good. Some people use this term that it tastes like a cardboard.
Cardboard, like the leaves, right?
It doesn't taste good. So in order to be consistent, what are the things that you can do? Maybe you can add the olive oil. You can add other things, a little spice here and there, things that will sweeten it up so that you'll be able to eat. So you have to be intentional if you want to be consistent. You have to be intentional. So the water bottle is one thing, going grocery is another thing, and also sleeping like on time. Some people know that if they see their phone, their chance of looking or getting on social media is very high, but it's time to go to bed. So why don't you charge your phone at a different or at a distance from your bed, so that consistently you can hit the bed and go right to bed and sleep instead of getting stuck on the phone. And by the time you realize the time is fast spent and you're not able to get your 6 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep. So there is something that you have to be intentional and so that you can stay consistent.
My goodness. Consistency. The key to excelling in this new version of you is to repeat the same things that you choose to do right over and over. Basically, repeating the positive actions. Positive behaviors must be repeated. And as she said, you must be intentional about it. Because if you choose to exercise every day, you are going to hurt a little bit. But the key is if you exercise 1 week and you stop for 2 weeks, you don't reap the results. So it's not consistent. It doesn't become part of you. It's not a behavior. Remember, you didn't hit the 21 days description. And so you really haven't become the better version of yourself. It is understandable when you have to break for something. Maybe you're on vacation, you can't do what you have to do. It's understandable. That's called vacation, But apart from that, you have to deliberately plan your things, to make sure that things work out for you. I think we have a habit tracker that, remember, we showed last time. We're going to show it again. Like, if you basically want to be able to do it, some of the things you have to write down and check them off every week so as to keep you consistent. To be consistent requires work, and you can put pen to paper. Usually when you put pen to paper, it keeps you see the evidence right there. It's not like, oh, I thought I was going to do it. Well, if you did, You would have, if you did, you would have checked it off
Check
that you
that.
did. So you can find samples of this online. Habit tracker. I want to do this from this time forward. And because of this, I'm going to keep track, make sure that I'm actually being accountable to myself. You know, if I say that I'm going to exercise every week 3 times, those days that I exercise, I'm going to check it off that I did. And then I can look back every week and see, did I actually do those 3 times? And you can evaluate it yourself and see if you're being consistent. So these are some of the things you can, this is a habit tracker, weekly habit tracker that you can find. We're talking about drinking water. Like Gifty said, if you put the cue, you know, the action, the behavior that comes with the cue next to you, it is easier. So I carry water all the time so that if I'm thirsty, I won't be tempted to go to the machine where I'll see soda, I'll see Coke, Diet Days, Fanta, whatever, so that I'll be tempted because I already have water. So thirsty, okay, this is my water right there. So I drink, you know. Don't be caught looking for what you don't want. You know, of course, you can also look for water, and yeah, we say that bottled water. You don't have to buy bottled water because eventually it may cost you. You can find one nice bottle like I have, and just refill it. Just wash it
Nice.
once a while, and then carry it with you. Yeah, you know, somebody may say, "You guys, you think I'm rich? How can I buy bottled water?" You don't have to buy, bro. Since you don't have to buy, just get a clean bottle, refill it with your own water, and move out with it. You know, nice bottle. That's a healthy lifestyle. You know, you're hydrated. But the good thing is, it's stopping you from drinking an unhealthy drink, a sugary drink that you don't want to be drinking, and that makes you consistent. So little things here and there will help you, including actions like writing things down in particular, and those will make you stay consistent. So you do small exercise, you check it off, you know, have a bubble bath.
That's
You
relaxing.
check it off, relaxation, right? Eat healthy. Breakfast. Do you eat healthy breakfast? You check it off. Within the week, how many times you ate healthy breakfast? And each time you eat it, you know what you're eating. So it's being intentional and then repeating those actions. And before you know, you are more than the best part of yourself. You will blow your mind what you can do. But again, before you do it, you have to actually be mindful, determined, and then use the tools that are around you, including people, supportive people, to reach those goals. You know, so that is what consistency is. So consistency means intentionally repeating those things. But as we said, you have to know the reward. If you don't have the reward, repeating it becomes difficult. If you know what you're going to get out of what you're doing, it makes more sense that you repeat it. And as you do it over and over, your brain takes over and you don't have to think about it, it becomes effortless. All right, so that is that for consistency and nutrition and hydration for you. All right, let's see. That was the last one, I think. All right, so in that case, before we break, we just want to make sure that you had a chance to share, you had a chance to click the like and the thumbs up, and you had the chance to follow us on Facebook or subscribe to our channel on YouTube at DrOteng, or you had a chance to give us some stars. Those stars are not coming. I don't know. I'll give us my goodness. We got to see those stars. So we had a chance to see the stars. And of course, you had a chance to write down our website where we have our merch. And you can go there and obviously scroll through and buy whatever else you want for yourself in terms of the stuff we put out there that are motivational messages from our show that you will definitely enjoy having, including some shirts, some of which say, "But life goes live. Life goes live." You know, your life is always live. People are watching you. So whatever you are doing, whatever you are eating, somebody is watching. Somebody is watching to take a chance at that. Also, you could have other things. You know, you are born to fight, born to fight, born to fight diseases, born to fight, you know, with the bad lifestyle, bad character, and be a better version of yourself. You could also find that. We also have a lot of stuff out there. We talk a lot about relaxation as the weather begins to change. Soon will be cold. can order something like this called relax. Relax, bro. Relax. Life is cool. All right. So basically, check us out and be supportive of our channel, and make sure that we are rolling together. And with that being said, I think we have exhausted our topic for today: how to become the best version of yourself in five steps. You can always go back to this video and watch it and see how you can make those little but important adjustments just so that you become the better or best version of yourself. Have any closing remarks?
No.
All right. So Gifty says no, and I am done. And so we say, beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. And thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Have a good week.